Okay. So I went and got my notebook because uh taking notes. And so Henbit is one of the ones I do have some notes already in my notebook because fun story. I've wanted to do a series on herbs and stuff like this for years now. I just didn't have the bandwidth. I'm only one person and it for a long, long time, blog posts and articles were the only mode of content that I really did. And
Yeah.
so I started with what I thought was dead nettle, right? And
Yeah.
I got like halfway through, because I like the videos, I like videography, so I was harvesting all this dead nettle in my front yard and making these beautifully aesthetically pleasing videos with it and piecing them all together. And then started like so I got the video together and then I went back to my computer and started researching the dead nettle only to find out that what I had actually harvested was a ton of henbit. So what the hell do we do with henbit?
Do you want to go over your notes first or
Well, it's not a whole lot of notes. So I've got it's just bullet point list. It's anti-rheumatic, which I th I'm gonna have to Google that word. I think it has to do with arthritis, but anyway, it's also a laxative, a stimulant, induces sweating, reduces fever, heals wounds with a poultice, so it aids that. Um, it comes in early spring and late winter. It's high in iron, fiber, antioxidants, and you want to, if you put it in a dehydrator at 110 degrees, is how you preserve that. That's all I got.
yes. Yes. Okay. So
Your
a
tone
lot
is
of that,
like you're adorable.
huh?
Your tone is calling me adorable.
Oh, no. No, not at all.
No, I am adorable. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, you absolutely are, but on this subject, I'm not like, that's cute. No, really, you have a lot of good information.
Okay, so anti-rheumatic does mean arthritis and osteoarthritis.
Yeah.
Reduces inflammation, pain, and joint damage. So I know things. Yay. Anyway, go.
Okay. So, yes, it is good for inducing sweating and breaking fevers. Um, Poultices, you had mentioned those. Those are good for skin health and like if you have a bum knee that's really hurting, like your joint, you can make a poultice and put on there. But you can also take the dried herb and infuse like olive oil or some other type of oil with it and use that to make salves. So, um, but the salves would be good for like the achy joints and stuff like that.
What kind of oil?
You can use like really any oil. Olive oil is good. Almond oil, sunflower oil, jojoba oil, I mean, just really any kind that you want to use.
Jojoba? Like jojoba?
Yes, jojoba, did that. I always think it's so funny, like there's certain words that me and you pronounce so differently. And I don't know who's right, but we know what we're talking about, so I guess it doesn't
Calendula.
matter. Yeah, calendula and jojoba oil.
Jojoba. And that is the thing is we're probably both right. It just depends on like where in the world you are that you're pronouncing.
Yeah, probably. Or we
It
could both be wrong.
We could both be very wrong. We'd have to look up the deep origins of the word and where it originated. And there's there's a word for that. It's not anthropology, but it's similar.
Yeah, I'd probably mispronounce that one. Okay, so you can infuse oil with it, and you can use that like to massage onto achy joints and muscles, or you can mix it with beeswax, like a couple, like say a tablespoon of oil to a teaspoon of beeswax, melted beeswax, and it would make like a salve. So that would have a little more like sticking power, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
um, Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it has obviously the lookalikes of dead nettle and stinging nettle, which isn't too big of a problem for real, right? Like, I mean, some lookalike issues would occur between certain plants that I can't think of an example, but if you have a lookalike plant that one's medicinal and one's toxic, then that's where a problem would arise. But with henbit, the lookalikes are dead nettle and stinging nettle, and both of the I guess stinging nettle you want to cook that first. So there's a little bit
Yeah.
of issues with the lookalike situation.
Yes. So with stinging nettle, you would want to make sure, like when you harvest it, make sure you wear gloves and long sleeves because it will actually really irritate your skin if you touch it unprotected. So you would, but it's still edible and medicinal. So it's not like it's going to be toxic if you get it and eat it thinking that it's something else. So to consume it is safe, but you would definitely know stinging nettle if you touch it. Um, so always wear gloves when you do stinging nettle. But dead nettle is not that way. And it's the one that looks most like henbit because it grows about the same height. It emerges at the same time of the year, and it also has tiny little purple flowers on it, just like henbit does. But it's not toxic, it's medicinal, and it's edible. And most of the uses for both of those overlap. So, I mean, even if you were to harvest dead nettle instead of henbit, thinking that you were gonna, use it for this particular thing, you would probably still get in the ballpark with it. So, especially with like the joint pain and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, and dead nettle is not as scary as it sounds. I don't know why they give these things these scary names.
I don't know either.
That's why they say that you should use the Latin names when referring to plants and herbs and whatnot, because for lots of reasons it takes away the guesswork. And then what we call dead nettle here or henbit may have a completely different name in another area, just because of the culture and whatnot. And so it's always good. But I mean, like, that's so hard. That makes something that's hard that much more difficult. You know, I made a
Yeah.
joke episode or two ago about how we're learning a different language when it comes to herbology, but like to literally have to learn a new language to learn it just makes it that much more complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of it's in like Latin and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, which of course, again, probably builds upon itself the deeper you get into there. Because, if you see, Spanish, English, and French are all Latin based. So if you know, so for uh, fluent English speakers, Spanish and French are the easiest languages to learn because there's a lot of overlap, a lot of patterns and whatnot. We were talking about this yesterday, me and the kids. I couldn't imagine trying to learn something that because I've been trying to I've got like a let's see, what is my streak? A 358-day streak on Duolingo for learning Spanish.
hmm.
So I've been like really working very hard. And I don't do just Duolingo. I do my Duolingo every day, but then I also self-study other things and have a notebook and just like I'll pull it out and start doing things. But it's so hard. It's so hard. And we're surrounded by Spanish speakers all the time. I couldn't imagine. I have a friend that's trying to learn Vietnamese. I'm like, are you crazy?
Right. It is. It really is hard because I was trying to learn Spanish and I have people in my life who speak Spanish. That's the
Right.
crazy thing. Like, because, like working the concession stand, there's a couple of the moms that are Spanish and they speak Spanish. And I was like, and a lot of, like people that go to Clements, there's a lot of, people who speak Spanish that go to Clements. And I was like, I want to learn Spanish, because I'm trying to keep my brain working and all of that stuff. And it's like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn another language. And it was so hard. And even
Mhm.
having people in my life that I could bounce it off of, I got so confused. And like my southern drawl mouth does not
Yeah,
form words that way. My mouth literally gets tired trying to enunciate and pronounce the words the way that I'm supposed to, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I get it. I get it. Okay, coming back to Henbit. Let's see. The notes I got on are the notes that Jim and I gave me on
Okay.
Google. Um, so are the roots edible? Because this says that the leaves and stems are edible and offer a mild, slightly sweet, and sometimes peppery flavor, but they also don't have a whole lot of roots to them. So there's just like little spindly hair things, so it's not really anything that you have to consider. You can eat them raw, throw them in salads, but it says that some people find the little hairs on the leaves a bit off-putting.
Mm.
Can be cooked like spinach or kale, added to soups, stews, and stir fries, added to smoothies or juiced. It's a source of vitamins and minerals, including iron, calcium, vitamins A, C, E, and K. So, like, really nutritionally dense, which is awesome because a lot of stuff doesn't have that many things.
Yeah, that's got a lot of vitamins in it.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Fevers and body aches, anti-inflammatory, anti-rheumatic, so good for joints, inflammation, relieves pain and stiffness. Claims have been made that it's energy boosting, but also anxiety reducing, which is interesting because a lot of things that are energy boosting are like irritate your anxiety as well. But this claim
Yeah.
that it's energy boosting, but also anxiety reducing, which sounds amazing to most of us, I'm sure.
That would be nice if it could reduce my anxiety, but not make me tired.
Right, because like
Because
chamomile,
yeah, a lot of herbs like chamomile and all the herbs that are made for, or not made for anxiety, but used for anxiety are really like a sedative.
sedative. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I could like chill out but still be functionable and not ready to take a nap, that would be good.
Yeah.
I might have to check that out. I will test it. I will put this theory to the test.
Awesome. Can't wait. And
Okay.
everybody else should do the same. I'm not going to tell anybody to use anything that their doctor has not prescribed them.
Right.
Disclaimer, disclaimer, all the places.
Yeah. We're not telling you to do anything. You do you.
No, this is
And
just
talk to your doctor first.
this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? That's all I got.
Uh, that's all I got too. Oh, it can be a laxative. So if you have too much of it, unless you're needing that effect,
Yeah, that's good
beware.
to mention after we're like, oh, it's so awesome. It can do all these things. Well, be careful though. Be careful though.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay. All right.
And next.